Tēnā tātou nau mai hoki mai to our next session, which I'm actually really excited about because I have the privilege of working with these beautiful ladies on our panel at ANZ. ANZ is an incredibly great organisation to work for as a woman. They've really promoted the role of women in the workplace generally, and we're really lucky actually in our technology space to have a focus on bringing that diversity in what we do and how we design and how we set ourselves up for success. So this panel is for you, for our young rangatahi women, for our young females out there, to get some inspiration around technology and why you would want to come and work in technology as it starts to really embed itself into our society, because there is a place for everyone. And sitting on our panel today, we have Maria Potter, and Maria is in the middle here. We're really fortunate because she's an industrial organisational psychologist. And to have that in our tech team, helping design our workforce and looking at things like women in tech, it's really helping us build strong diversity in the workplace. We have Angela Batistich, who's in our emerging tech team. Angela's also worked in innovation tech and with our digital team on the front line. She's also a tech area lead and brings lots of expertise and passion and advocacy to our workplace for women. And we've got Sanatina Blair. Sanatina I have had the privilege of working for, who's promoting not only women but our Māori and Pacific in tech in ANZ. And she's been focusing on engineering pathways and really trying to promote and help us get ahead. So it's wonderful to have you all here today. Thank you for coming. So I'm going to shoot some questions at you. I'm going to start with you, Ange. Just in terms of inspiring our audience, where did you start your career?
So my career started, I went to an amazing school out West Auckland called Waitakere College and ended up at Auckland University doing an arts and commerce degree in organisational studies and operations management. And then I got an opportunity that sounded really interesting to try electronic banking at the time, which was online banking. And that was where and I was like, this sounds interesting. That was where my passion started as a BA into project management and program management, always on that emerging tech side, really interesting, a whole new world that you never realised was there until you kind of tapped into it as well. So yeah, and now I'm at ANZ as well, which is fabulous.
Excellent. Nadia?
Should I go next?
Yes,
so, Megan, you have already in your introduction said, called out why I'm a little bit different, because I'm an industrial organisational psychologist. So I'm really big on understanding human behaviour in the workplace and how we can optimise that to drive business success. So I have worked in tech organisations my whole career, so over the last 25 years. So even though I am a specialist of human behaviour, it's really come together that I am human behaviour in a technology workplace. So unlike most other techies, I'm a little bit different, but also really at home within technology.
And difference brings diversity.
Yeah.
Hey. Sanatina.
Malo, Megan. I didn't start out in your traditional way you would have thought. I left school at 17 and I became a single mum at 24. And I loved technology. I always saw it, and I saw it evolve over time, especially in the 90s. But I never thought that I could do it. I never thought I was smart enough to be in those roles. So I decided that I needed to be a better role model for my son, and I flipped my career. So I was on front lines in call centres and financial services, and at the age of 30 I decided, you know what, let's just try something. So I pivoted into a support analyst role in a lovely software organisation where they saw my potential and they built out the first start of my career in technology, in engineering. I went on to be a test engineer and learn how to automate. And then I went on to be a software engineer where I learned how to build out, write scripts and deploy my own environments into the cloud, and then into my path as an engineering manager, or right now an engineering chapter lead. So I found my passion and the importance it was to step up and be brave and be one of those people who steps forward to help our underrepresented, support and build out those pathways for us. I felt different, but I'm not different because I'm unique in my own way, and so is everyone else, and that is so important in IT right now.
Absolutely. Authenticity and what we bring to the workplace is the thing around diversity, and we're calling out for it. We want the difference in all its beauty and forms that it comes in. The one observation I had across all of that is prior to you actually studying Sanatina in tech, and if I look at myself, who's got a background in law and Māori, often a lot of the people who come into tech don't have technology degrees.
Yeah.
And I just think that's fascinating, and I think that's probably something for our audience to just absorb that fact on its own, that it takes a lot of different schools of thoughts to deliver technology to our business and our users. So with that in mind, before becoming part of tech, what did you think of it? Maria?
Oh, okay. So I think of highly intellectual folk that do coding in dark rooms. I kind of didn't acknowledge that technology is everywhere now, as you said in the intro. And so most organisations have technology teams, and we come in so many different shapes and forms. So I guess I thought there was a huge chasm between me as a psychologist. I just didn't see where I would fit in technology. But if people are working in technology, then there's always a space for someone who has a passion for people like myself.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, isn't it? We talk about technology, but behind technology is people.
Right.
And that's the important part. And the irony is not lost on me that we talk about artificial intelligence and what it's beginning to do, but still is people behind the intelligence that's driving that. And we are the change makers as humans, not AI. So Angela, what about you?
I think a little bit similar, as in you thought of technology as in people in dark rooms doing things, but it's so many different roles and aspects of it. Like I realised, I really love the project management and the business analyst, and then that's not coding, that's understanding technology and what it means to our customers and what it means to the tech itself and the strategy. Like I think that's a bit that we forget, that there's so many, it's very diverse in all the different roles, and you don't have to be in a back room coding away as well.
I don't think that's an unreasonable thought when, tech of the 80s or maybe before, it was the guy, typically guys in garages, getting the tech out there. So you can see why they may think that, but it's definitely not what we've got today. We've got amazing innovation centres and hubs that are set up to excite us and inspire us. And Sanatina, just as you were introducing yourself, you talked about wanting to be a role model, which was one of your drivers around moving into tech. So what did you think of tech prior to that?
So I thought of tech, I remember having a Macintosh Plus, this little box, and my brother used to play on an Atari, and those are my memories of technology and these brick phones. And I just never thought it was within reach, and I didn't really know any sort of role models around, especially female role models who were in technology. Coming into it though, I saw, wow, there are so many cogs in the wheel that make this possible. And for us to evolve, I guess, the organisational ecosystem and the way our actual applications are, diversity is a really important part of it. And that includes starting with our gender identity right through to our Indigenous people. We are not different, but it wasn't really made, it was just made as a generalism, right? Our applications were general back then, and now they're becoming a lot more, not themed, but honed into the people we are, and they resonate with those others. So I'm striving to be the woman that I needed as a young girl, so that others can come in here and know that they belong, regardless of who you are. You are your unique self.
Wonderful, and that reminds me, and I don't have the exact stat, but I read an article that mentioned back in the 80s there were significantly more women working in tech, but the marketing and targeted advertising focused it on males, and that was where we started to see that transition, that the computer is a boy's toy.
Right.
It doesn't belong to the female, and that's where we started to see females not seeing themselves in the careers that we've forged for, that you three have forged for yourselves today. So it's the role of marketing and advertising is really important around the products and the impact that it has. And so now that you see technology, or you've shared what you think of technology before you came into it, how do you feel about it now, Sanatina? Now that you're here doing your doing, being the role model.
It is our future. If we want to, I would recommend anybody leaning into any opportunities that they can. We talk about AI and machine learning. That is going to be super amazing, but we need our diverse people in there as well. We need our females leading. We need our Indigenous people leading these things. Some tips, mentors, like if the community, we're there, reach out. If you would like a cup of coffee or you just want to talk about it, reach out. We're all there. We're here to help you and support you where we can. Lean into those opportunities. I know myself as a female, I tick boxes and I'm like, oh, no, you know what, I've only got 50% of that. I'm not gonna, I think I'll just sit on the side. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Like, we will be there to support you. And just remember, you are all your own unique selves, and it is so important that you come with your authentic self forward so that we can change and evolve IT.
Excellent, good. So, Ange, how do you feel now that you're in technology?
I think what you said yourself is that we can change our tech, but we can evolve the world that we live in and push boundaries. And I think we've all been involved in projects and initiatives that actually you're like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. When I started my career in IT, there was no such thing as mobile apps, right?
Yeah,
and
true.
It was like, and then jobs turn up that you actually never knew would exist one day. And I think that's the amazing thing about what we do, is we do actually get to change the world that we live in and how people interact and opportunities, and go, this is big and open and we welcome you, and mentoring's so important. People want to help each other as well. And we as females, whenever anybody asks, myself, for advice, it's like we're there to help and support around us, which is really important.
Well, I kind of liken working in tech to being on a magic carpet ride. And it sounds really weird, but like technology is evolving so fast. We're all on this carpet and we're flying through the air, and it's just so much excitement, so much innovation. And when I think about what I want to do and where I want to spend my career, it's somewhere that's exciting and evolving and fast and imaginative, but also something that's extremely secure and long-lasting. And I don't see the evolution of technology ever slowing down. And I see us still swooping around on that magic carpet together, and that's where I want to be when I think about making a career or an industry choice in terms of where I want to spend my career, rather. And I just love the points that you made, specifically around being brave. I don't think any of us really envisaged ourselves working within tech. Now we're here and we're loving it. And this should be your first step in learning more. Talk to people, understand what they do. Even if you're not technical and you're like me and you can't work a remote, it doesn't mean that a career in technology isn't something that you should disregard. Jump on the magic carpet with us and, have an exceptional career.
Yeah, and you've mentioned a couple of things. I've heard coaching, mentoring. I think part of the challenge, though, as a young female out there listening, where should they go? I mean, how can they get access to it? Have you got any words of advice from that perspective?
So there are a few programs, STEM programs like Girl Boss, meetups. We hold, so meetup.com, there are women in tech groups. There's also P-Tech, which is out in other high schools and things like that. Or look us up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like 100%. A few of my mentees have been from LinkedIn, and just happy to sit down and have a coffee with you and help you where we can.
Excellent. That's really great advice. So look online for general groups, and I know She Sharp's out there as well.
Yes.
So Girl Boss. So there's lots of active groups trying to promote it. But LinkedIn, get the names of our panellists, look them up on LinkedIn and connect.
And you don't need to do it alone, right? There's a community of females in tech that are so supportive and want to help you along the way. So reach out.
And just ask, right?
Yeah.
Just ask. If you meet somebody or you hear that's really interesting, just ask them as well. And that's okay to ask, because quite often we don't ask and we go, oh, we don't want to look stinkle, we don't want to look like this. But what's the worst that could happen? Somebody says no or goes or recommends you to talk to somebody else. Like, that's really important, that first step.
Yeah, great call out.
The other thing that I think is important, we're talking about a career in tech, and we talked about being the backroom coders, but we all know it's so much more than that. Can you share, and from your experience, what sorts of roles are in tech for them to think about, and what sort of skills should they be thinking about of growing?
I mean, tech has so many skills. Right now, we've got usability, UX design, and we've got data scientists. Like, the skills are amazing, and then you've got roles like business analysts, which if you're really analytical and just want to understand process and how things work, like as a skill base, just try it as well. And I think as long as you've kind of got the background and a degree and understand the analytical side, and if you love technology, tech degree is great, but there's such a large world of opportunity.
Have you got anything else to add to that, Maria, from a workforce perspective? Kind of skills that make up tech?
And it sounds really cliche and it's always referenced, but it's that learning agility. Because as I spoke about before, the evolution of technology is so fast. We've now got this generative tech, Chat GPT, and it's about being able to explore concepts, think about it, understand it, and think, how can this improve the customer experience for us? So it's that curiosity, ability to learn and question, and those are really important skills within technology.
And Sanatina, you're focusing specifically on engineering pathways. What does that mean for some of those listeners out there who are STEM orientated, who do like the sciences and that tech side? What can they get to experience if they come into a tech shop and do that coding on the keyboard warriors?
So it is so much bigger than the coders in the back room now. Like, we have so many specialisations in areas, anything from mobile development and iOS and Android, right through to your front end, back end, which is like your APIs. And this is like software engineering, but we also have things like site reliability engineering, which that is about your infrastructure and how we scale and how all of these things work together, how we enable our people around us, and how we get our product to our customer as securely, with quality, and as fast as possible. And they all come together, like product and engineering at all those levels working together produce an amazing customer-centric and customer-focused solution. Problem solving, critical thinking, like identifying ambiguity, everything. It's just, there is a mass amount of possibility, and the lateral moves that you can move into, not just from those technical roles, but also into our product side as well. You can become a technical BA, you can move into design. Like, there is just so much potential.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of potential, and we've just focused on some of the technology skills, but back to our point earlier, behind the technology is people, and so people skills are just as important. How do we manage our teams? How do we grow our teams? How do we ensure that we're building a culture of innovation and excitement and connection to our customers? So those people skills are just as relevant as the technical skills. And just at the risk of showing my age, my entrance into the tech market was actually in Y2K, so it's year 2000. We went from 99 to 2000. There was this millennium bug, the dates on all the technology where the tech was going to stop because the dates were going to go from 1999 to 2000. And there was such a shortage of IT workers at the time, this was up in London, that it's an opportunity just landed on the doorstep, and that was a trajectory from moving from thinking about a career in law or legal into technology, and it's been a fascinating adventure. And I think the thing around technology is it's a foundational asset, so it doesn't confine you to an industry. You can be a technology in law, you can work in technology in banking, technology in startups and new things. So it's from inspiring from a career perspective, it's just, it plays across so many different industries. And just our last few minutes, why would you recommend a career in technology? And what's your last words of advice to these young women, aspiring women out there that we want to motivate? Sanatina. Go.
Again, just coming back to the whole leaning into opportunity. So community is important. Reach out to those that you resonate with and have a look at your values as well. What is it that you would like from an organisation? You come into technology, but also a really important thing is to understand the 3 top things that you would like from an organisation, whether it's diversity, whether it's opportunities, whether it's, and just be yourself, like 100% be your unique self. You have the potential to grow, like Megan is saying, in any area, and same with what Angie's saying. You may be in law. If you're interested in technology, 100%. Law, you know, AI is coming into law as well.
Yeah,
like it's ethics. It's so important. We talk about compliance, and we have a whole lot of those things. So, yeah.
Kia ora. Maria.
Nothing necessarily to add over and above what everyone said, but I would recommend a career in tech because of its excitement and its evolution, and it's how it's completely weaved through our society. So it's continued sustainability for you in your career, that security it gives you, and just say yes is my advice to get into tech.
Just say yes.
And just what all of you two just said, and just give it a go, right? Try it. You'll be surprised. It is a whole world, and it's an opportunity to change, and it is what you would never expected it to have been.
Yeah.
Had I never given it a go, would never have known as well.
And just to sum it up, the one word that I heard was be brave.
Yeah,
So we want
brave.
you to be brave, reach out and connect with us and those in the industry to see if this is a career for you. So thank you to my panellists. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.